Welcome. My name is Dan Harsh. I am the founder and the CEO of Concept. If you, like many companies right now, are trying to figure out how to improve sales, then this video will provide you with many things to consider and ideas to implement. Whether you have budget available to you or you don't have additional budget, this video will provide you with things that you can actually walk away with. So let's jump right in. We work with companies every day of all sizes, all industries, and regardless of the size or the industry, most all are experiencing the same things and asking the same questions. The biggest and most common need we hear is, I need to improve sales. For some companies, they don't have additional budget. In other companies, they do have additional budget. But regardless of their budget situation, the need, it's the same. I need to improve sales. What should I do? Do you have any suggestions? As we dive deeper with customers, we begin to hear even more similar needs, hurdles, pains. They all share that they need more sales, more overall productivity across their company. They need to generate more profit. They all share their version of rising cost, how their budgets are tighter, how their customers and prospects' budgets are also tighter. They share how companies are slower to make decisions, how they are just more cautious overall with their budget. They share how there's more competition and how that competition is impacting them. And many of them have not even totally rebounded from COVID. And then if that's not enough, not only are they tasked to do more, but they're tasked to do more with less. Less cost, less time, less people. So the question then becomes, what do we do? So regardless if you have budget or not, there are two things you must immediately address. One is you must fix your current sales issue. And two, you must put a structure and a process in place that prevents or at least minimizes this happening again in the future. So what things do you need to address and where do you need to start? I think there are four key areas to address. The first is we need to increase our overall volume of activity. Keep in mind, whatever volume of activity you're doing now, it's not meeting your needs. So we need to start with finding a way to increase our overall activity levels. Secondly, we must increase our consistency. We see a lot of companies turn marketing and prospecting on and off. You'll find benefit by just being more consistent with your overall sales and marketing activities, campaigns, etc. And then thirdly, we must improve our overall messaging. We must find a way to get prospects to respond to our activities. And lastly, we need to implement a process that's dependable, reliable, consistent, and can execute and deliver the things that we need. And we'll talk more about each of these in detail in just a few slides. So, how do we go about implementing these four things? Well, one option is we can hire more sales reps. Although this is an option, it's not the route most companies are pursuing today. Companies are experiencing high turnover. The cost and time of onboarding is high. There's a high risk of bad hires, which results in lack of productivity or no productivity. Hiring more sales reps would be considered the old traditional way of selling. In today's climate, the old traditional way it's unpredictable. It's considered inefficient, and you simply can't cover enough ground to compete. So what would be some suggestions? Well, first, take inventory of what is and is not working inside your sales and marketing groups. If you have something that's working, identify what it is and determine if it's scalable. If it is scalable, then continue to feed it. If there's things that are not working, then you either fix it, you eliminate it, or you replace it. One mistake we see is companies continuing to do the same things even when it's not working. And in today's market climate, we can't afford loss of time or money from being unproductive. If you have new budget dollars available, then we must spend them effectively. If you don't have new budget dollars, then we must more effectively allocate the dollars that we do have. In many cases, spending more dollars doesn't fix your problems. Sometimes spending more dollars can create additional problems. More effectively spending and allocating your current budget will have an impact. So as you look at where to spend your budget, the areas you want to focus on are these 4 areas that we just discussed. I want to ensure that my dollars are increasing activity, better consistency of going to market, more effective messaging, and lastly, a process that can deliver all of this. So the question becomes, where should you invest? Should you invest in more people, technology, automation, CRM, maybe a combination of people and automation? Or should you outsource those functions that you really don't have in-house skill sets? Well, let's take a little deeper dive into each of these 4 key areas. Let's first talk about increasing volume and things that maybe we could consider there. As you make plans to increase volume, you will want to evaluate your effective use of multi-channel marketing. A few things to consider are, 1, are you marketing or selling through multiple channels? Secondly, if you are, how much and how effective are you? Thirdly, if you're not effectively leveraging multiple channels, why? And do you have internal resources and experience to effectively leverage these channels? The benefit of multi-channel marketing is that we don't always know where prospects are going to be. Are they going to respond to my phone call, my email, a blog, social media? Are they searching on Google? Well, the answer is yes, they're doing all of that. However, we don't always know when and where they're going to respond. Secondly is content marketing. Are you hitting the market with multiple forms of content, whether it's blogs, videos, infographics? And then thirdly is touch points. Are you hitting the market with enough touch points? There are all kinds of surveys out there stating how many touches it takes on average to make an appointment. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, there are all kinds of variables that affect this number, such as industry, time of year, mode of outreach, the actual content itself, and more. All that said, I can also tell you from firsthand experience, you must continually be putting your name out there. Awareness is important. It increases the odds of being at the right place at the right time. It's like fishing. The more lines you have in the water, the better chance you have of catching a fish. Lastly, a major consideration in increasing volume is CRM. You must effectively leverage a tool that can execute the volume that you need. You need to set up workflows and marketing automation to manage your lead nurture programs, your lead follow-ups, and even customer communications. Setting up automations is an excellent way to increase your overall activity levels. The next area we'll touch on is increasing consistency. This kind of dovetails with increasing volume. We see a lot of companies do a big campaign and then it stops, meaning they don't have the next one ready to go or a follow-up process to follow up on the campaign they just launched. Improving your marketing consistency helps minimize the downturns and valleys of sales. Some things to consider in improving consistency is, 1, it's a mindset change. Upper management must adopt this as a priority, and then they got to drive it down through their sales and marketing groups. 2 is you must have a structure of both the right people and the right technology and tools. 3, and this is a big one, you must have alignment and collaboration between your sales and marketing groups. The best way to do this is to ensure that these two groups have the same objectives. You can't have these two groups marching to different drums. Next is metrics and KPIs. You must be able to measure and monitor this so you can see from month to month how well you're doing. A good way to think about consistency is that it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You think about a sprinter. A sprinter gives it all they have for a very short distance, and then they're done. A marathon runner sets a steady pace and then maintains that pace for a long time. He doesn't run really fast for the first mile and then slow it down for the next two. And then lastly, you must leverage CRM. You must have a tool that can execute the timeliness, the volume, and be dependable and reliable to execute what you need. The next key area to address is improving your messaging. Messaging is critical. There are 3 C's when it comes to messaging: creative, compelling, and consistent. We talked about volume and consistency. However, if your message isn't effective, you're not going to gain any benefit from more volume and more consistency. I listed a few bullets to consider regarding messaging. One is understand your audience. Know what their real pain points are and how these pain points, they can be dynamic, meaning they can change over time. They can change throughout the year. They can change due to business climates, etc. Keep a pulse on your market. Keep your messaging clear, short. Keep it concise. Solve objections. If you know your audience has a specific concern or objection, address it quickly in your message. Have consistent messaging across all your channels. And lastly, keep in mind the objective of your messaging is to increase engagement. We're trying to get people to respond to our messages, to respond to our emails, to respond to our social posts, go to our website, fill out a form, pick up a phone, etc. The last key area to address is process. We must implement a process that can increase our volume, increase our consistency, and effectively deliver the messaging that we create. When you think of the process, think of your entire sales engine. Your sales engine includes everything from procuring and managing data, prospecting and lead generation, campaign development, strategy development, content creation, execution, actually launching your emails, your social posts, your blogs. Your sales engine is responsible for creating collateral, landing pages, case studies. It's all part of the engine. And the hub that manages all of this is your CRM. This engine and process is made up of key individuals that are experts in their respective areas and technology and tools and automation. You probably noticed a common theme or a component that was referenced in many of the previous slides, and that is CRM. CRM is the hub which everything else revolves around. CRM helps you increase volume. It will improve consistency by implementing workflows and automation, and it will provide you with the ability to set up the necessary process to manage all these aspects. We've covered a lot in this short video. If you are not doing some of these things we discussed, hopefully you're walking away with some ideas. There are a lot of companies right now that are trying to figure out how to improve sales, while at the same time they're trying to do more with less. Everyone's trying to be more competitive. You may want to check out our video. We did a video called Adapting to Changing Markets. It's out on our YouTube channel. And in this video, we give insight and suggestions on things to consider as you're trying to adapt your company in today's business climate. Lastly, everything we reviewed isn't a simple plug-and-play process. It does require planning. It requires strategy, trial and error, specific skill sets, technology tools, effort, but it doesn't have to necessarily cost more money. you can start by reallocating your current budget. We're talking about the sales of your company, and sales is the heartbeat of every organization. And as the saying goes, the juice is worth the squeeze. Hopefully this video has been helpful for you. We help companies every day with the areas we just discussed. If you need assistance in any of these areas, we would enjoy an opportunity to talk with you. Thanks for watching this video.